All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping into a really cool new paper from Google DeepMind. It tackles one of the biggest and, frankly, most frustrating problems with AI today. Its weird inability to actually learn from us.
So let's get right into it. This paper comes from a team-up between Google DeepMind and the University of Illinois. And, it gets at a problem that I'm sure you felt yourself if you've ever used an AI assistant.
The researchers basically call it AI's goldfish memory problem. And it's this bizarre thing where an AI can remember every single word you've ever said to it, but it never seems to get any smarter because of it.
I mean, has this ever happened to you? You spend time carefully correcting an AI, teaching it something specific, and then the very next day, it makes the exact same mistake again? It's maddening, right?
It really feels like they're just stuck in this endless loop. Yeah, they can pull up your old chats and remember the raw facts of what you said, but the actual core behavior, that just doesn't change. And this right here is the heart of the problem. It's the gap between just recalling information and truly learning from an experience. The paper says it perfectly. Agents remember what was said, but not what was learned.
Okay, so this brings us to a really important distinction the researchers make, and it really gets to the core of what they're trying to fix.
So on one side, you've got what they call conversational recall. Think of that as just remembering static raw facts. But on the other side, you have experience reuse. And that is about pulling out the strategy, the lesson from a conversation so you can use it to solve new problems later. Let me put it another way. Conversational recall is like having a giant file cabinet in your brain full of random facts. Experience reuse, though, that's the ability to open that file cabinet, take out a few facts, and actually reason with them to build something totally new. It's a huge difference.
Now, to fix this, the team at Google DeepMind knew they couldn't just build a new AI and hope for the best. No, first they had to invent a way to actually measure this kind of learning, because, as they say, you can't improve what you can't measure. And so, they came up with Evo-Memory. It's a totally new kind of testing ground for AIs. It's basically a series of tasks that come one after another, and it's specifically designed to reward the AIs that actually learn and adapt on the job, not just the ones that have a good memory.
So with this new test in hand, they built an AI specifically to ace it. Let's meet the star of the show, the ReMem agent. This is it, the ReMem agent. And what makes it so different is that it isn't just built to act on information, it's actually designed around this powerful but really simple loop of self-improvement.
It follows this cycle. Think, act, refine. So first, it thinks about the problem. Then, it acts. It tries to solve it. And then, and this is the absolute breakthrough, it has a refined memory step. It doesn't just save the conversation. It actually reflects on what it just did, figures out what worked and what didn't, and then distills the lesson from it. It's like the difference between just memorizing a textbook versus actually understanding the concepts inside.
So the big question is, did this whole new approach actually work? Well, let's take a look at the results from the paper because honestly, they are pretty darn impressive.
Get this. On really complex multi-step tasks, like finding its way around a virtual world in this thing called the baby AI simulation, ReMem hit an incredible 92% success rate. That just blows previous models out of the water.
And it's not just more successful, it's way more efficient. Check out this chart. In another simulation for household tasks, a standard AI took, on average, more than 22 steps to get something done. ReMem, it did it in just 11.5. That's almost twice as fast, which proves it's not just remembering more, it's learning smarter ways to do things.
So what does this all mean for you and me? Well, this research is basically pointing the way to a completely new kind of AI assistant. We're talking about moving beyond the kind of static tools that we have today. And it brings us right back to that core idea from the paper. We are finally getting on a path to move past AIs that just remember what was said.
And we're moving toward AIs that can actually learn what we've taught them. This is literally the blueprint for assistants that can grow with us, adapt, and become true partners that evolve right alongside us over time.
And that really leaves us with one last kind of fascinating thought. If you had an AI assistant that you knew for a fact would remember the lesson forever, not just the words, what would be the very first thing you'd want to teach it?